Playground of Potential. My name is Matthew Salzman, and this is my playground. Today I'd like to talk to you about energy. When I speak of energy, I'm speaking of the life force energy that flows through all things. Some people call it chi, others mana, others ki, and others prana. If you're looking for a more contemporary name for it, it's called the Force. May the Force be with you. For millennia we've seen this. We've seen the effects. We can't see it directly. It's not a physical thing. Or if it is, it's more subtle than that. We see the sunlight give rise to the plants. Animals eat the plants. This exchange, this interconnection of all things. The river flows, gives life to the banks of the river. The wind blows, the seeds travel, grow in other areas. Life has this movement to it, this perpetual motion. You know, science hasn't been able to create a perpetual motion machine. Well, guess what? Life already did that. Within the Chinese tradition, it is believed that when our qi stops flowing, we get illness. So they've created things such as qigong, or tai chi, or acupuncture, to break up this stagnant energy so that it flows freely and does what it's supposed to do, bring vitality to our being. Within the Indian tradition, they understand this under the umbrella of Ayurveda. It is their belief that food should not be consumed a couple days after it's been cooked because it loses its prana over time. It loses its vitality, and we can see that as fruit rots and becomes less nutritious. Even in the taste of just a couple day old fruit, you can taste the difference of what it is when it's at its peak ripeness versus this slow decline of prana or chi. Now it's easy to doubt these things. Science hasn't really gotten on board with this idea. Or at least if they have, they call it under different names like thermodynamics, heat exchange. They understand it as metabolism or, decomposition. But the overarching idea of a universal force, albeit appealing to some like Einstein, who wanted to create that theory of everything, hasn't really been adopted by science. But it doesn't make it less real. Last September, I lost my voice for a month and a half. I was really freaked out. Couldn't find a reason for it. Until I began to consider it within the lens of energy. And I realized that I wasn't expressing myself. I wasn't allowing this energy to flow that needed to flow. I needed to express this uncomfortability within myself. Otherwise, it stagnated within my throat and literally blocked my ability to speak properly. As soon as I addressed this energetic issue, it disappeared. My voice came back full, more full than ever. So I'm a believer, I really am. When I was younger, I developed this technique that sort of was my first sort of venture into sensing this universal force. And I'm going to share it with you now. I simply began to hold my hands a little ways apart. Began to breathe in and out. As I breathed in, I expanded my hands. As I breathed out, I contracted them. It wasn't long before I began to feel a subtle sensation between my hands. It almost feels like magnets of the same pole being in this vicinity. There's sort of a repulsive sensation. As I breathe, as I move my right hand and really tune into this force, I can sort of feel the subtle imprint of this energy on my other hand. Now my left hand is considered our receiving hand. Our right hand is considered our expressive hand. And this is sort of an esoteric wisdom that has been passed down for generations. And you may actually begin to feel this as you begin to breathe in and out. Now I'm going to do this for a moment. I'm going to sink into this space. And as I do, I'm going to give you a poem over top. All right.
So many names for this universal flow, this river that runs through all, connecting us in this Gordian knot that I have not forgot and cannot be cut. This force flows freely, feeding as it finds its way, weaving in between seams that cannot be seen, only felt. She pushes and pulls, dissolves into our lungs, only to be expelled. There is no containing her or restraining her. She slips and slides out of grasps so tight, fueling fires so bright she makes the world go round. Without a sound, without a sense, she is the recompense of rapture beyond capture.
Well, I hope you like the poem. And I hope you play around with this technique. Keep an open mind and see what happens, Try it out. And really quiet the mind and try and tune in to that subtle energy. And it won't be necessarily subtle for long. Like I said, it's almost like magnets being pushed together. I can feel it very viscerally. But it took some time to really get that level of sensitivity down. So don't be surprised if you don't feel it right off the bat. Play around with it. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button and share it with others. Still have my offers that I have. I've got the self-mastery sessions, one-on-one Zoom sessions where I help you find your highest potential. If you're interested, please reach out to me at playgroundofpotential@gmail.com. Also, you can get a poem on a topic of your choice, typewritten, special for you, or a signed copy of my book. You can reach out to me at my email if you're interested. Well, I look forward to sharing more techniques like this in the future. Until then, peace.